Welcome to the Doctor's Lounge. Come on in. So, congratulations! Dr. Fauci has recently announced that the COVID pandemic is over. And that means, what does that mean? So, one thing it doesn't mean that COVID itself is gone. It's still around. But if COVID's still here, but we're not in a pandemic, where are we? We're moving towards an endemic phase. That makes you wonder, what's endemic mean? So that's kind of like, you know how there's a yearly flu. We know when there's a flu season, it's more under control and prepared. That we know coming in certain months it'll be around. We have vaccines every year for it, and we can kind of work. It's better controlled, but it's still active, and it happens every year. So that's what we're moving towards. Are we fully there yet? Maybe, maybe not. The numbers are still kind of up and down at times, depending where you are, but we're moving in the right direction. So if we still have COVID, it's maybe not fully pandemic, but we're moving towards endemic. But what do we do? So still wear masks, still get vaccinated, still wash your hands. These things make a huge difference. How do we know? Because we've seen. That's what we've been doing all this time. That's made a big difference. Even if we're transitioning out of a pandemic phase, which if you really dig into it, that's kind of semantics, because there's no clear criteria from either the WHO or the CDC of when a pandemic ends and an endemic phase begins and how you can tell the difference. But sometimes they say it's more about predictability, which is why like a yearly flu is endemic, because we know when it'll start roughly, we know when it'll end, and we have an idea of what viral strains will be the big ones. Versus the pandemic is when it's uncontrolled, we don't know what strains are going to happen next, and we can't really keep the rhythm of cases as predictable. Regardless, that's kind of semantic. The key things we need to keep doing are the same, and even the other thing is the knowledge that a flow, a give and take. So just when we do finally get out of the pandemic phase and go into endemic, it doesn't mean, oh my God, we can never go back. So that's why we need to be vigilant. We need to do the right things. We need to stay on top of things, because if we don't do that, we can go back to the bad days of early 2020. Another new treatment that's been around is if you're at risk for severe COVID infections, you should talk to your doctor, because you may benefit from a new antiviral medication from Pfizer called Paxlovid. This medication, if taken early, can decrease your odds of hospitalization from COVID by 90%. That's a big difference. So if you may get that, you may benefit from it. It's worth talking to your doctor about that. What shouldn't we do? We shouldn't start acting reckless. So while it may be open, you can go to a ball game with friends and in a big environment, still be mindful. You may need to still wear masks. Don't act like it's over, because people still can die from COVID. Especially, not everyone will, but a lot of vulnerable people are still at risk. It's still very deadly. It's still very dangerous. So COVID's not gone, but it's getting a lot better. So keep wearing the masks when you can. Do the best. Keep fighting. Just because if you don't, we don't want to see you in the hospital. I don't want to see you in the hospital. We don't want you to be there. And any other questions, just come on back to the Doctor's Lounge. We're always here. Thanks. And if you need anything, click the subscribe button, click the like button, and all proceeds help fund women's education in an underserved country. And that's it.